Hello everyone, it's Sylvie. Welcome back. I hope you're doing good. Today I'm going to be chatting through my Aries season, what I've been up to, what I've been enjoying, what my tarot practice has looked like. It's a wrap-up type video. I'm sure you know what to expect. So I'm going to get straight into it. This Aries season has been weird for me. I won't really get into it, but I feel like I have been feeling like I've just been moving one step forward, two steps back since about January last year, 2022, to be honest. And this Aries season has been much the same. And additionally, for reference, I have not got a single fire sign placement in my birth chart. So fire sign seasons always feel a bit weird to me. They're always whether good or bad, they're always quite intense because I don't know, I just feel like I don't feel super comfy with the fire energy. But anyway, so all that to say, it's been a weird one for me, but I have been spending my time trying to enjoy the sunshine as much as possible. It's been getting a little bit warmer and a little bit nicer in England. We have had some really lovely sunny days, although the rest of the time has been just absolutely terrible weather. I'm really sick of the rain and the cold and the gloom and the grey. I'm really hoping it picks up soon. But anyway, I've had some lovely walks with the dog in the sunshine in the mornings when we've had it. And over the bank holiday weekend, the Easter weekend, I even managed to get myself to the beach. I stuck my feet in the sea. I looked out over the water. I even managed to find some sea glass, which I was really pleased with. I never find sea glass. I've got a friend who just has the eye for it and always manages to find it. I had some sea glass, picked up some shells, also a handful of sand, which I've now got to reckon with. But anyway, that was really lovely. I used to live really close to the sea. I used to live a 30-40 minute walk, and then I moved after I did my master's. So I now am not conveniently located for it. It's a trip to get out there. So it felt good. I felt a little something reset when I stuck my feet in the sea. So yes, the rest of the time has been nothing too interesting, to be honest. There was some pet stress. Everybody's fine. They're just dramatic. So no worries. But I don't handle other people or pets health scares well. And so it was stressful while it lasted. But everybody is fine. But I won't dwell on all that, and hopefully Taurus season is going to be a bit more enjoyable for me. So speaking of things that I've enjoyed, I'm going to chat through some of the things I've been enjoying in the last few weeks. So first up is music, because I almost always have my headphones in. Music is so important. It's so key to my ability to self-regulate. And recently it has been Fall Out Boy on repeat. So their latest album, So Much for Stardust, came out whenever it came out, and it's been genuinely non-stop for a little while there. For the first couple of weeks that it was out, it was what I was listening to. And then once I started hearing the songs in my sleep, I figured I needed to diversify and dove into their back catalogue a bit. It's a fantastic album, no skips, no notes. My boys are back. My favourite songs off the album would be Hold Me Like a Grudge, What a Time to Be Alive, and Kintsugi Kid. Any other Fall Out Boy fans out there, say hi. I genuinely think it is such a good album and I'm just thrilled. Okay, there really is sand everywhere. So when I haven't been listening to Fall Out Boy, I've been watching on TikTok, I've been watching clips of Taylor Swift's shows because she started her tour. It looks absolutely incredible. I'm already having to rein it in and resign myself to the fact that there is just no way I'm going to be able to afford tickets whenever she takes it international and comes to the UK. There's just no chance. But for the time being, I'm having so much fun watching clips of the show, seeing her incredible performance, and seeing everybody's sparkly fun outfits they're wearing to the shows. I love it all so much. It's been really helping to cheer me up. And then of course this resulted in me diving back into Taylor Swift's discography. So it's been a fun few weeks musically, because Fall Out Boy is very nostalgic for me. Taylor Swift is quite nostalgic for me. It's been a good time. I've been watching a lot of Dimension 20 recently. So I say recently, I'm always watching a lot of Dimension 20. I'm not very good at watching like movies and TV shows. I don't know what it is. I just find them like hard to persuade myself to watch. There's Unless it's like a comfort show, unless it's something I've seen before. I'm just not very good at watching new things. But I've been actually rewatching A Starstruck Odyssey, the Dimension 20 season. It's their fun sci-fi season. It's one of my absolute favourites. It's also one of their most like light-hearted comedic seasons, which I've been needing. So rewatching that has been really, really fun. On the Dimension 20 note, I've now had to start Crown of Candy because the new season that's coming out with Matt Mercer DMing is a prequel to that season. And I'm afraid for my emotions because I've heard that Crown of Candy is an extremely brutal, emotional season. So I'm like steeling myself for this. But the new season starts May 10th. So I have like 20 days to watch 20 episodes of like possibly quite heartbreaking D&D. But anyway, I'm having a good time. So that's about it in terms of things that I'm watching. Say hi if you're a fellow Dimension 20 fan. Also, if you're a Critical Role person, where do I start watching Critical Role? Because I'm intimidated by the back catalogue. I'm the kind of person who wants to watch it all from like the start and go, but there's so much. So I'm hoping that the season with Matt Mercer DMing will persuade me to actually start watching Critical Role. But anyway, in terms of other things that I've loved, now that the weather has started to warm up a bit, I have been back on my incense bullshit, and recently it has been Palo Santo that has been my incense of choice, because my room is really small, so I don't like to burn incense unless I can crack a window, and in the winter it's just been too cold, but it has started warming up enough that that I can do that. So I've been burning incense pretty much constantly, and my brother continues to ask me if I'm burning stuff on purpose. I've never once burned things by accident. I've never started a fire. I don't know what he's so afraid of. But anyway, yeah, I'm really basic. It's just such an incense. It's cheap. It's what I can afford. But Palo Santo is my new favourite. I think I don't have anything particularly fun or exciting otherwise to share with you, so I'm just going to get into the tarot practice and tarot decks, which is probably what you're here for anyway. Oh my god, I tell a lie. This YouTube channel, I technically started this a little bit before Aries season. My first video went up like a day or two before the equinox. But yeah, I've been having so much fun making videos. I'm really enjoying this. It's been really fun to get involved in like tags and talk through my practice a bit. And I just really hope that you're enjoying watching these videos as I am making them. I feel like I completely have no idea what the middle of that sentence came out like. Wow. I hope you're enjoying watching these videos as much as I am making them, is what I was trying to say. Yes, because I certainly plan on making lots more. I have several videos in the works, and yes, it's been a really good time. I'm really glad that I started. So to actually move on to my tarot practice, with how rubbish and demotivated and not like a real person I've been feeling recently, my tarot practice somewhat fell off, but I still do have some like things to talk about. First of all, I supposedly am doing a deck and walk. That kind of almost immediately fell by the wayside with just how things have been going, but I'm hoping to like catch back up. I took some notes and started like reading into the first decan of Aries, the Two of Wands, and then stopped, but I'm hoping to pick back up with that. But I don't really have anything insightful to say about my experience with the deck and walk because it's not been much of an experience. But I did manage to keep up with my daily tarot draws. So this is the Darkwood Tarot. It's really shiny, so we're just gonna move things along. This was my March deck. I do a daily pull with a different deck each month, and it was the Darkwood Tarot in March. If you saw my daily tarot practice video, I went through this in a little bit more detail, but it's really frustrating how the like seasons don't line up with the months. But anyway, I'm going to talk about this, my March deck, in my Aries season wrap up, because March ended in Aries season, so I can have my final thoughts. So even though more of Aries season has been taken up with April, I'm going to save my April thoughts until April is over. Does that make sense? It's a very simple concept. I feel like I've managed to explain it in a way that sounds complicated. But anyway, the Darkwood Tarot was my March deck. I really enjoyed the experience working with this. So the art is by Abigail Larson, and the art is just so stunning. Wow, this is reflective today. It's really gloomy outside, so you're just getting a lot of glare from my light. But anyway, the art is the reason that I bought this deck. I have the Horror Tarot, which she also illustrated, and I just like can't get enough of her work. Although having said that, I haven't bought, she's done at least one more deck, which I have no interest in buying. So I guess I can't get enough of her work. But anyway, yes, I love this deck. The artwork is not super diverse, and I think that's in terms of like the people represented, and I think that's the only thing that really lets the deck down for me in terms of the artwork. And the guidebook is a Sasha Graham guidebook, and it is great. I really love the take on the like shadow side that this deck has. I think this deck is really designed for shadow work, and I really liked that perspective. I've added so many notes to my tarot study database, which I do digitally in Notion, and there is a video coming on that, I promise. And there was also, I'm going to try and find it, there was a little bit somewhere in the intro relating to like physics. Yeah, it was just a little mention, but it's here at like the bottom of page 3. Universal darkness is infinite, while sunlight contains boundaries. Scientists tell us the cosmos is almost entirely made of dark matter. Dark matter is an energy making up more than 90% of the universe. It does not emit light and cannot be observed directly. Dark matter is identified by its gravitational pull. And like that as a like metaphor for the darkness in the tarot, or like the shadowy side of the tarot, I found that so like interesting. Like physics in general is something I'm really interested. I find like theories of physics and like quantum physics especially all really difficult to wrap my head around, but the ideas are so fascinating to me. I haven't yet been able to find any kind of like books or writing combining tarot with those ideas. It doesn't seem extremely like new agey and like anti-scientific. Anti-scientific might not actually be the exact right word, maybe more like pseudo-scientific, because I don't think that everything in the world can be effectively described by the scientific method, but there is definitely a lot of shit that is just made up and uses scientific terminology to like make it sound valid, and that is what I have an issue with. Anyway, so I'm not really looking for like metaphysical, magical like evidence as such. I just want to read writing from people who have related concepts from physics to the tarot. That's what I've been struggling to find. So having this like little nugget of that in this book was great. On that note, if you have anything to recommend on that kind of perspective, please let me know. So I loved my experience with this deck. I'm probably not going to reach for it too much over the summer because it is definitely like a quite gloomy deck. But to be honest, the weather in England has been so rubbish that at this rate, it's going to be summer appropriate after all. So yeah, that is the Ask the Witch. Okay, I tell a lie, this is the Ask the Witch. That was the Darkwood Tarot. This is my April deck. And like I said, I'm going to save my thoughts on this for, I guess, Taurus season wrap up when April will have been over and I will have finished working with this for the month. But so far, I love the art so much. The guidebook is kind of mixed for me, and the cardstock is horrible, but that is not worse than the art is good. Did that make sense? It's worth it, at least so far for me. So when I have had the energy to like read for myself, when I have had the capacity to actually do a reading, I've been reaching for my spring tarot TBR, my basket of spring decks. And honestly, I've mostly been using this. This is the Lifeline Tarot Colour Outside the Lines. And I've been really, really loving this. This was a fairly recent purchase for me. I did an unboxing of this and the Fyodor Pavlov Tarot, which I bought at the same time. But this has been great. It reads with so much clarity for me. I really like the artwork. I love the use of white space and negative space in this deck, and I love how that translates into really like simple, clear messages in interpretation. I also really love the guidebook. I've tried the inner child spread, or there's several inner child spreads, I think. I've used a couple of them and had a fantastic reading. Hit a little bit harder than I was expecting. Which one am I talking about? This one, the Market of Memory spread. Very simple, very effective with this deck. Yeah, I do wish that in the deck the minor arcana had a little bit more detail, but the keywords are keywords that I like. Yeah, they make sense with my understanding of the tarot, and the majors in this guidebook are really good. They have these like oracle messages, and I really enjoy them. Yeah, and also this deck, it smells really good. I've said that before, and I still think it's weird, but also it genuinely does add to my enjoyment of the deck. That probably is really weird. But then people talk about the smell of books all the time, and they're not weird. So I feel like it's okay that I like how this deck smells. Anyway, I'm going to move on. Unexpectedly, I've also been playing with this. This is the Squid Cake Marseille Tarot. I got this when it came out at the beginning of March. I bought this because it was cute, and it is seriously cute. Like, look at the backs. Anyway, I picked this up basically at random one day and just really fell in love with trying to interpret the pip cards. I'm planning to focus on Marseille decks in May and like start my study for Marseille in May. And there is a video coming about that, about how I like plan to study it. But in short, this deck is adorable. It's been bringing me so much joy. And just like having it on my desk and flipping through it has been really lovely. I think because I don't know the system, there's no like, it doesn't feel as weighty when I try and work with it. Like it doesn't feel like such a task almost, because I don't know anything. So I can just kind of flip through, read the guidebook and be done with it. And I think the pips are less overwhelming than illustrated minors can sometimes be. So yeah, love this, and it's just been bringing me so much joy. Like, it's cute, it's fun, it's like light-hearted and a bit like silly. It's just been so great. And I might become a Marseille lover, which is not what I expected. Like, oh, it's just the edges. It matches my nails, which was totally accidental, but can't say I'm mad about it. Yeah. And then the last deck I'm going to talk about is the Grimalkin's Curious Cats Tarot. I also just did I think it was the last video that went up. I've been filming and uploading in a different order, but I think this was the last video that I put out, was a walkthrough, like my first impressions of this deck. And this I bought very quickly after seeing a full walkthrough of the art, and I really love this deck. I previously thought myself like not an animal deck person, because like, I don't know, animal energies don't really mean very much to me, like unless I know a lot of facts about an animal. I have no notion of like what their vibe or their energy might be. So yeah, but despite that, I am really loving the personality of this deck. It might be just because I've had cats all my life, but I think it's probably that this deck is only cats as opposed to like a range of different animals. So the cats are kind of almost a stand-in for human figures in this deck. And so the energy of each card has to come from how they are each depicted and like the image composition and all that, rather than relying on the presence of the animal itself to convey some kind of like energy or message, because it's all cats. So yeah, and I think also because this deck is not humans with their like human faces and expressions, I was really pleased to find that I find this deck to be a really expressive deck with a lot of personality that doesn't feel like stifling to me in any way. Like I recently decided to say goodbye to the Unfolding Path Tarot because the people were so expressive, and my problem is that I interpret that like too literally, like facial expressions in a deck. It sounds counterintuitive because you'd think that it would be clearer and that would be better, but like it is what it is. And obviously I don't have that same experience with cats in a deck, so it's this really lovely, lively, like expressive deck in a way that's really readable for me. Yeah, it's also just extremely pretty. It's a very like spring appropriate deck, I think, with a lot of the images used in the collage art. There's loads of flowers, like these blossoms are so pretty. And overall, this has just been a really like gentle and light-hearted, but not like nice washed or light washed deck that I've needed the past few weeks. It's just been delightful. Yes, and that is all the decks that I had to talk about today. I made a right mess. So that is my Aries season all wrapped up. That's everything that I think I wanted to talk about, or the decks I wanted to show you. So I'm gonna leave this there because I think this might be a long one. Feel free to let me know how your Aries season was in the comments. I really like that. And yeah, thank you for watching this video and also any of the videos that I've put out over this last like month or so. I've been really enjoying creating and uploading videos, and I plan to keep doing so, so stick around. But thank you for watching this video. Thank you for spending some time with me. I hope that you've enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.